Hi, welcome back. So in our next one, we'll be looking at your goal product roadmap canvas. So your goal products. So your goal products. So like I said in the previous class, I know that for different people who are part of this, we are at different point or spaces in our business. So I know for some people we are looking at developing a specific product in 2022 or launching a new product in 2022. Now, in developing a product, there is a roadmap canvas that you can also follow in your product development. So that canvas is called your goal product roadmap canvas. So the canvas looks something like that. Again, you can check the carbonizer.com that I gave to us so you see it properly drawn. So first is, what is your goal? Sorry, what's the date? Sorry, we already know what your goal is. The date, what do you want to call it? What is the feature or the features, and what are your metrics? So we have that. So So we have your date, your name, the features, the metrics. So first you should know what the goal is that you are trying to achieve. So let's say, for example, I want to develop a tool, or I want to develop a product next year of tomatoes plus pepper plus onions already joined together. This is what I want to develop next year. So I need to know what date do I want this product development to start, and when do I want it to hit the market. I need to know that. So when am I starting my development? When do I want to hit the market? Now, it's important I also state that when it comes to product development, we must be careful not to stay in that what's the word now, in that bubble of perfection. You are trying to ensure everything is perfect before it hits the market. You will try to ensure that you do not fall inside that bubble. You need to learn when to quickly hit the market with your product so that you can get feedback. Now, depending on the kind of product that you're trying to do, you may need to create your first product before you have your final product. So your first product is what hits the market. Many a time that first product, you are probably not telling people to pay for it. It is free. So they know that this is for the purpose of understanding the market needs, to understand if what we have developed meets the needs of the market. So we simply means that even if it does not meet their needs, your name is still intact because they did not pay for it. You pre-informed them, they already know. Then when do you want it to hit the market? Then number two is, in your product development, have you thought of a name for the products? What are you going to call it? Now, it's important that you give a name that to a large extent conveys the meaning of the product. However, courtesy of what we call brand awareness, it is possible today to name a product a name that has nothing to do with what the product does, and yet people are able to identify with the name. I'll give you an example. In my front here, I have a fan called Oxfan, OX. Now, the OX fan, OX has nothing to do with fan or breeze or anything. But because today you can push a brand awareness for people to be able to associate your name with whatever you want people to associate it with, do not spend too much time living here where, oh, I must get a perfect name. Next is, which is very important, what are the features of your products? What are the things that your customer gets to benefit by using your product? What are the features of this product that you are developing? Oh, I have said at the beginning that my goal was to have tomato, pepper, and onions. Now, as simple as this might sound, the question is, what is the ratio of tomato to pepper to onions? My onions I want to put inside, will it be diced or also blended? The entire product that I am developing, is it going to come out as a paste or as a powder? Or am I having a powder of tomato, pepper, and onions packed differently such that whomever wants to use it can mix it based on how they want? So, what are the features of my product? Still in the features of the product, so there is one. What is the content? What is the content? In some cases, what is the package? So you may have the right content and the wrong packaging, and if the packaging is wrong, the content may not sell. So in packaging, am I looking at aesthetics for people to say, oh, this is really pretty to look at? Or am I looking at functionality that, oh, it's a package that extends the shelf life of what I put inside? Or is a package that by the time they are done, they can use the package as maybe something to wrap moi moi to do their moi moi? Or is a package that is so fine that the women can use the package after they are done with the content and use it to store their jewelries? So what are the features of the package? What are the features of the package? Then, depending on what you are doing, what are the legality features? So under legality features, is it a thing that requires NAFDAC number? If yes, do I have that already available such that when I tell people, oh, buy my tomato, pepper, onion, let's say tope on, my tomato, pepper, onion, what's it called, whatever, that it already has the feature of being legal? Do I have that in place? Or is it something that is not needed? Is it something that requires another kind of certification? Do I have it in place? I think that makes any sense. So you realize, so what is the content? What is the package? What is the legality? Or even in my features, it could be something that feeds into an SDG goal. It could feed into an SDG goal because we are in agric. Maybe I am saying, oh, the kind of packaging I am using is something that is environmentally friendly. Or the kind of packaging I am using is me recycling something that would have been a waste. So I am recycling it and converting it from waste to wealth. So what are the features? And finally, under the Go Product Roadmap canvas is your metrics. What do you have in place to measure each of these features? To number one is to be certain that the feature actually plays a vital role that appeals to your customer, because it will not make sense to have a feature that the customer does not care about. It simply means that whatever funds, resources, time put into developing that feature, it's a waste. Because if the customer does not care about that feature, it means that they do not end up using that feature. So, what metrics do you have to check your content to be sure that does it meet what it is supposed to do? So how do I mean if I say meet what it is supposed to do? You are doing tomato, pepper, and onions joined together. What do I have to ensure that this tomato actually plays the function of tomatoes? So the question is, for my customer, are they looking for volume or tomato with aroma or tomato with taste? So I need to know. So for example, let's say I am doing a package of these three together and I am selling it for 200 naira. Now for this 200 naira, I need to know in the content, what is most important to my customer? Is it that they want volume, quantity, or they want quality? Is it volume, the quantity, or they want quality at the end of the day? Now, if it is quantity or quality, which of these are they most particular about? Is it the tomato quality? Is it the pepper being peppery? Or is it the onions? Or are they most concerned that, oh, they don't want so much pepper, they want more of tomatoes, or they want more of onions, especially if it's in a system where I have pre-mixed? So what metrics do I have to ensure that these are properly done? Two, in my metrics, I also need to look at the package, if there is a role, if it is a system or a product that packaging matters. What metrics am I using to check out the package? Am I looking at it from the environmental perspective, or from the aesthetics from the customer's perspective? Or am I looking at it from the ease of carriage? Is it something that, oh, customers will want something they can carry easily? Or is it something, I'll give you an example. I remember those days we used to have Omo in cartons. But today, Omo no longer come inside cartons. They come inside like a nylon, a nylon bag. Why? They suddenly realized that when other brands started coming out with their own detergent inside nylon, people preferred it. Why? Because when you are washing and water touches the container, if you are using carton, it becomes wet. You start looking for where to store your detergent. And if you are not careful, some of the detergent may waste. And for a customer, that packaging was not working. However, they were quick to realize we can also switch to a nylon package. I remember when they started, they used to have now the nylon package inside the carton. Why that was beautiful, the reality was the customer on his own part does not care about the carton. So it meant that the owners of Omo were spending money on a feature that the customer did not care about. The feature that the customer cared about is our Omo does not get wet. And the nylon inside the carton was playing that role. So the carton for the customer was just nuisance. So over time, you realize that Omo had to stop doing the carton because they were spending money on a feature that their metrics was able to tell them over time that this is not the reason why they buy your product. If I'm making any sense. So, do you have a metrics to check your packaging to be sure that what the customer wants, one, what the product needs is what your packaging is doing? So, at times it may not be what the customer really wants, but it may be what your product actually needs. So, if it's what your product requires, even if the customer does not care about it, but you know this helps your product, you may still want to do that particular thing. So, you should have a metrics to measure that. Then that makes any sense. Then, you should also have a metrics to measure the legality. Oh, you want to go and get money, you are trying to do a startup and you want to go and get money to get NAFDAC number. Meanwhile, you know that the people that are going to buy your things are people around your immediate vicinity and they know you. And you understand that the first reason they are buying from you is because they know you. And you also know that you can sell for like 6 months or even up to a year before NAFDAC will start running after you. So why then are you investing resources into NAFDAC from day one, when you could have used that money to expand your production, make more profit, and from your profit go and get your registration done? So what is the metrics for legality? Now, if you are able to bring all of this together, you have been able to do what we call your goal product roadmap canvas. So if you are looking at developing a product in 2022, take time and look at this canvas. Try and see if you can work on your features, and most importantly, the metrics to judge the features. So the metrics for judging the features is number one, does it meet a need? Is that feature actually meeting a need? Very important. Two, that feature that you have built, is it able to meet the requirement to meet the need? So how do I mean? For example, if I say I want to do tomato, pepper, onions that people can use for stew easily, that feature that I want to build in can meet a need of stew. But the next one of, does it meet the requirement to meet that need? Meaning, when I take the pepper, tomatoes, and onions that I have produced, is it able to actually meet the required need of making stew? Maybe I'm realizing that, oh, when I did my first mixture, I did 2:1, 2:1. And by the time we mixed it and tested it, from the feedback, we realized that the stew was too peppery that people could not eat it. Why? We had equal ratio of tomato and pepper. So although tomato, pepper and onions can meet the need of stew, the ratio that I have used as a feature, when I look at the metrics, it is not able to meet the original need. Hope that makes sense. So you need to have your metrics to judge what you are doing. It could even be a metrics of having a wrong personnel. Maybe having the wrong personnel or not having the right personnel on board. So I am trying to do this. Meanwhile, I have nobody around on my board that is probably a nutritionist or even a chef or knows how to cook. And we are trying to do something that people will use to cook. So it could be the wrong personnel. It could be the wrong tool. Maybe we do not have the right tool. Or we are developing